Good morning and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. I always like to tell you that it's just nice to be with you. Just nice to be here with you this morning. In one sense, there's really nothing to do except to be the wonderful beauty, the wonderful creating energy that you truly are, and to really live in love today. Always remembering those words of Jesus from A Course in Miracles, teach only love, for that is what you are. Really, that's what all of us are, simply beings of love, ready to bring heaven to earth, awareness to the planet. Just a joy to be here with you. Having said those things, just a couple of other things to mention before we begin today. First of all, we have one more place in our alchemy class, which is on Monday morning from 10 to 11:30. If you would like to join us, it's still not too late. Please simply let me know. Also, hopefully you've enjoyed the reading list I sent this week. I think there's a lot of wonderful books on there, and I think it'll be very helpful to you. I'd also like to mention the fact that you might as well get ready for spiritual growth. You're going to grow more and more and more and more. It's going to be a wonder to behold. I encourage you to join us as we make this evolution of our human species. And then the last thing I just want to mention, tonight on our open forum from 6 to 7:30 p.m., I'll be giving my testimony, my little lead as to how I got on my spiritual journey, where I presently am, and where I'm going. So I encourage you to join us. Just go to our website, click on Study Groups, and scroll down to the open forum, and I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it from 6 to 7:30 this evening. Let's begin. As I mentioned, we cannot help be excited by what is happening among the members of Now Creations, especially the goodness and the kindness that you, our members, are extending into the world. I truly believe that we are bringing heaven to earth, that we are consciously bringing awareness to the planet. It's quite a thrill. Honestly, it's quite a thrill to see what is happening. It's quite a wonder to behold goodness and kindness in action, and knowing that we are presently only experiencing a foretaste of what is to come. It's that foretaste that is the basis of today's teaching entitled, You Are Ascending. Let me begin first of all with a clarification of the meaning of the word ascension, and then follow it up with these four qualities and these somewhat cryptic statements: what you don't do, what you can't do, what you do, and what you will do. First, a meaning of the term, clarification of the term ascension. When speaking of ascension, many of us in a sense have the picture of Jesus ascending into heaven. Such a view, very common among many of us, prompted one of our members to say, well, if we ascend, does that mean we will disappear? The clarification that is needed is that the contemporary meaning of the word ascension is not the ascension of a body, such as Jesus wafting off the planet, but rather the contemporary meaning of ascension is a raising of consciousness, an ascension of consciousness, of experiencing yourself differently in your present body. Ascension does not mean leaving the planet, but rather be becoming fully conscious on the planet in your present body. Let me just say it again. Ascension does not mean leaving the planet, but rather becoming fully conscious on the planet in your present physical body. With this notion of ascension clearly in mind, becoming fully conscious on the planet in your present body, Let me now proceed to explain the 4 characteristics of ascension in these somewhat cryptic comments. What you don't do, what you can't do, what you are doing, and what you will do. First, what you don't do anymore. Probably the first thing that you don't do anymore is that you don't get caught up in the superficialities of the world. It's not that you're oblivious to the necessities of life, such as financial security, but you realize that the material world is a temporary one. It's a temporary one where things come and things go, from entertainment to politics, or politics as entertainment, where you've had enough, where you want something more real, something more wholesome, something that is more you, where you can truly share the goodness and kindness that you are in meaningful encounters with others. You're done with the superficialities of the world. Secondly, what you don't do anymore is give too much consideration to the opinions of others. It's not that you don't care about what they think, but you're much more confident in what you think. You're much more confident in your own views. You don't need the approval of others. You don't seek it, nor do you look for it. And you don't have to explain to others what you are thinking. You just don't feel like you have to justify any longer what is going on within you. You don't owe anyone else an explanation of what you are doing. If someone says to you, "Why are you doing that?" you feel very comfortable to say, "Because it's the right thing for me to do. It's the right thing for me to do." There's no need to doubt or apologize for your thinking. You know what is right for you. And of course, if someone were to ask you, "Well, why do you think a certain way?" you can readily explain why you do. Because you know that there is a guidance within you coming from your higher self. Enough said. The third thing you no longer do is that you no longer play at being spiritual. You no longer do what I call pretend spirituality. Now, without being critical of anyone or any spiritual tradition, what I mean by simply playing at spirituality is that many people just go through the motions of being spiritual, but they really don't mean very much to you. Let me give you a couple of examples. The first one, when politicians or anyone in power say, "Our thoughts and prayers are with you," you do wonder if they really think about the people involved, and you wonder if they really do send them loving energy. The people in authority often say the right words, but they sound hollow, and they quickly move on to another subject. Or take the seasons of Lent for Christians and Ramadan for Muslims, both considered to be seasons of penance, trying to subject the body to the Spirit's guidance. Knowing more about the Lenten tradition, but also considering the same thing might apply to the Muslims, most people can't wait. Most people can't wait for Lent and Ramadan to conclude so that they can resume their normal eating and drinking patterns. If one has given up chocolates for Lent, there are a whole lot of chocolate bunnies and chocolate eggs waiting for them to be eaten on Easter morning. What was the point? What was the purpose? Again, I don't mean to make light of those traditions, but they do give vent to pretend spirituality, following the letter of the rules and being respectful, but truly in a sense being somewhat shallow. Again, many people give lip service. They give lip service to their traditions, but not heart service. They are respectful, but often not heartful. But you have begun to change. You have stopped playing at religion. And you've begun to work seriously and happily on your spirituality. In a nutshell, you don't do a lot of things that no longer make sense to you. You don't do them anymore. Now, before proceeding to what you do, let me say a word about what you can't do. What you can't do anymore. You can no longer say an unkind word or do an unkind action to anyone. And you are clearly working on not having an unkind thought or critical thought about anyone. Let me just say it again. You cannot anymore say an unkind word or do an unkind action. Can't do it anymore. And you're even working on getting rid of those unkind critical thoughts. Unkind words, actions, and thoughts just no longer feel right within you. Something in you has changed. There's no longer that critical, judgmental, angry, impatient, jealous attitude about others. You just can't go there anymore. Rather, what you have done is you have replaced unkindness. You have replaced unkindness with two very important qualities. The first one, you now have the ability to be understanding of others. You have the ability of being understanding of others. You clearly realize that if someone is being ignorant or obnoxious, it is because they are caught in their own negative behavior, in their own negative thoughts and emotions. And they don't need you to add to what is clearly obvious, namely that they are stuck. But you are not. You clearly understand this. You understand that you offer assistance where you can, but you clearly realize that the other party is on their own soul path, which you clearly understand that you must allow them to be on, and for which you are not responsible. You clearly understand this. And yet, you are beginning to understand something even more. Your second ability is the oneness you feel with others, even when they are not responsive to your understanding. Let me say it again. It's the oneness you're beginning to feel with others, even when they are not responsive to your understanding of them. This oneness with others enables you not to harbor ill will towards others, and even enables you to maintain your energetic unity even when nothing else is possible. What an enormous step forward to maintain your energetic oneness with another when nothing else is possible. You are progressing extremely well. Which now brings me to the third aspect of today's teaching, what you do, what you now do. And may I suggest the following 5 things. First and foremost, you take spirituality very seriously. It has become the most important part of your life because it has become your sense of self. Being spiritual, and by this I mean being kind, being loving, being creative, being intelligent, being nice. This composite of qualities has now become you. You are no longer different from your spiritual self. Your spiritual self has become you. May I say this again? You are no longer different from your spiritual self. Your spiritual self has become you. Notice now the time and attention you give to your spiritual self. It's not something you do in your spare time, but rather you set aside the time because you realize that your spiritual growth, your sense of self, is just the most important thing you do in the course of the day. From the moment you get up in the morning till you close your eyes at night, you truly understand that you are a spiritual being who is living this human experience consciously, with your eyes wide open. You know what you are doing, and you are doing it so lovingly, so kindly. Which now leads me to the second point of what you do. You are clearly taking responsibility for your life. I'll say it again, it's pretty important. You are fully taking responsibility for your life. There's no one yanking your chain. There's no one to blame. You, as the Course in Miracles would simply say, are taking your rightful place as a co-creator in the universe. You are bringing forth the good, the beautiful, and the holy. You are simply taking charge of your life, consciously, knowingly, happily. Are you not? You're in charge of you. And you know this, and you're conscious about it, and you're bringing forth its goodness. And because you are being responsible from your center, you are now doing a third thing. You are proceeding with great confidence. And this might be even, in a sense, your best foot forward. You are not arrogantly saying that you know what you are doing, but rather, you really do know what you're doing. Because you are listening to the guidance of your internal teacher, the Holy Spirit. This confidence not only is giving you a greater sense of self-awareness, but your confidence is helping others to be confident in themselves. You have become a stability point for others. Do you understand how important you are? You have become a stability point for others. You are modeling a beautiful behavior, a very calm and loving confidence that is blessing others. Please realize the importance of what you are doing. there's more that you're doing. In fact, there are two other things. The fourth thing that you are doing, I would suggest, is that you are becoming pure within yourself. There is no pretense in you anymore. There is no pretending in you anymore. You are finally becoming not only the person you've always wanted to be, but you are also becoming the soul that God has created you to be. I do want to repeat this. Each one of us is becoming not just the person we've always wanted to be, but what each one of us is becoming is the soul awareness that God has created us to be. We are doing something that is bigger than just the little us. We are participating in a conscious creation of life that includes everyone on the planet itself, the cosmos, and the universe. We are part of something bigger, we understand it, and we're happy to be a part of it. Which now brings me to the fifth point. The fifth thing you are doing, I would suggest, is more of an experience. It's more of an experience. Because of all the things you no longer do, because of all of the things that you can't do anymore, and because of the things that you are now doing, the fifth thing is that you're experiencing a definite result. There is a definite change in you. I like to express it in two ways. First, there is a smile in your heart. Now, just honestly, right here, right now, isn't there a smile in your heart, an inner joy, an inherent sense of well-being, an inherent sense of divine order? You just know what you're doing, and you can't help but smile. And then secondly, there is a presence that you are now in. There is a presence in you, around you, and through you. You are radiating. You are radiating a conscious presence. You can't help but smile within. You just know. And you know that you know because you have become the knowing. You have become the knowing of the God presence on the planet. You know this. You're living this with others, and what a joy it is to do so. You know this. Indeed, your heart smiles. In conclusion, I've kind of run out of a little bit of time this morning. I have not yet suggested what you will do, at least as I see it. This will be the topic of next week's teaching, what you will do. In the meantime, may you focus on the beautiful being that you have become with full confidence, knowing that even more expansion awaits you. We are ascending in joy. Now, did you ever think in your heart of hearts that you would ever say these words to yourself? I am ascending in joy. Now, honestly, I am ascending in joy. Yes, We are ascending together. We're doing this. With that in mind, let me now lead you in meditation, and indeed, what a joy it is to do so. Let's begin as we normally do by just taking that moment just to settle ourselves, just to relax a moment, allow the breath, its natural rhythm to take over. Let us feel the body relaxing, the mind emptying, and our soul coming to the fore. Please begin. Now, right here, right now, right at this moment, do you not feel that smile in your heart? You've changed. You're different. And honestly, you're happier. And you just know that it's only beginning. The spirit within you is fueling you. I'll say it again. The spirit within you is your fuel. Right at this moment, do you not feel it fueling you? Are you not in its energy? Do you not feel its thrust? All you want to do is to be loving and kind and sharing and bring others into the embrace of your love. That's what you most want to do. Did you ever think you would feel this way? For years and years and years, it was always about you. Not a bad you, but it was pretty much about you. And then you began to look at yourself and say, you know, there's a lot of superficial things in my life. They really aren't me. Gee, I used to worry about what people would say about me, or at least think about me. I didn't have the self-confidence. I kind of allowed others to run a lot of my life. Hate to say it, but they did yank my chain. No more, but at one time. And it's true. It's true. I just can't. I don't want to. It's too uncomfortable. It hurts me. To even think about saying something unkind. Or doing an unloving action. Even the critical thoughts are leaving. They just aren't me anymore. I've replaced so many of those things I don't do anymore and can't do anymore with a lot of things I am doing right now. In my wildest imagination, I never thought I would say, I've become my soul. I've gotten over my personality. I've become my soul. And I have to admit, sometimes I pretended to be spiritual. I didn't know any better. I was doing the best I could, but I just didn't know. But now I do know. It's nice to be spiritual, also known as being kind and nice, creative and intelligent, fully loaded with spirit. It's nice not to pretend to be spiritual, but to allow being spiritual to become who I am. Gee, I never thought this would ever happen. But it's true. And rather than criticizing those who are stuck, I have to admit that I love them. I see that they're stuck, but it doesn't deter me from loving them and being as helpful as I can to them, but not responsible for them. I get it that every one of us, including me, is on our own soul journey. Yes. Yes. There is a smile in my heart. And yes, there is a presence in, around, and through me. Yes, there is. And yes, yes, we are ascending together. So nice. So nice.
I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. Deep within, peace resides, faith abounds, and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. I honor thee. I honor thee. Namaste. I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee. Seen through eyes, an illusion, seen
truly, doesn't that bring a smile to your heart? There's just a knowing that you have become and we have become. I encourage you to join us tonight for our open forum. It'll be different. I think it'll be just great, great, great fun. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste.